Welcome everyone to another video. It's Joshua here to give you guys my most underrated and my most overlooked of 2019. These are 20 movies I found to be the most underrated and most overlooked. These are movies that I either had one of three things: critics liked or hated, but audiences liked or hated, audiences and critics just overlooked, or movies that are actually great but not enough people went to go see them, or movies that didn't do well at the box office. So that's what this list is. So without further ado, let's get started. This list is entirely subjective, so if a movie that you find to be underrated or overlooked doesn't appear on this list, don't get upset. It's just an opinion. But anyways, these are the top 20, and here are my honorable mentions. Honorable mentions: Brightburn, Last Christmas. I'm gonna have the Last Christmas song stuck in my head for at least a total of 6 months. Richard Jewell, Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, Zombieland Double Tap, It Chapter 2, and Terminator Dark Fate. With that being said, these are the main 20 movies that I personally found to be underrated and overlooked. The Beach Bum. The Beach Bum was a movie directed by Harmony Korine, starring Matthew McConaughey, Isla Fisher, and Snoop Dogg, and Martin Lawrence. This got a lot of hate from the critics. A lot of people just didn't really understand it. And this had the same problem with the director's previous effort with the Spring Breakers. And I thought the Beach Bum definitely should have gotten more than what it deserved, because it's by no means a masterpiece, but The Beach Bum was a decent enough entertaining comedy film with Matthew McConaughey in a better film than Serenity, doing his thing. That was all I wanted to see. Ad Astra. A lot of people really slept on Ad Astra. I guess it's because they're getting tired of astronaut movies, I don't know. But Ad Astra was a really great film from the director of The Last City of Z, starred Brad Pitt, Liv Tyler, and Kimberly Elise. Great cast. Very emotionally powerful. Really good performance from Brad Pitt. Very awesome film. And I'm glad Jaron talks movies. He likes the movie as well. So you're not alone, buddy. I like the movie as well. Ad Astra definitely deserved more money than what it got. Blinded by the Light. Nobody cared about this one but those who reviewed it, and I'm one of those people who cared about it. And this was a really good movie about a teenager learning to live his life, inspired by the music of Bruce Springsteen, aka The Boss. Great performances by his lead actors, especially Haley Atwell, and the guy who plays the main character is Vivek Kierak. Underrated film that definitely deserved more attention than it got. Whew. 17. 5 Feet Apart. This was a romance movie that it did follow the same romance cliches, but 5 Feet Apart was one of the better films of 2019. It was one of the better romance movies of this year. Because let's face it, romance movies this year, again, were a hit and miss with me, just like horror. But, like horror, I did find some good. So 5 Feet Apart definitely didn't do well, but it was a great enough movie that warrants its spot on this list. Booksmart. By the way, some of these you will be seeing in my best of. So this ain't gonna be the only time you see a couple of these. Booksmart was directed by Olivia Wilde. In her first film debut, starred Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein, about 2 girls who wanted to do everything they didn't get to do in their 4 years of high school before graduation. Yeah, I thought this movie was funny. This was hilarious. It was one of the best comedies of this decade. I laughed a lot. For some reason, this movie bombed. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but this was more tolerable than Charlie's Angels 2019 by a long shot. And Olivia Wilde's direction was really great. This deserved more attention than what it got. Godzilla, or Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters. This movie got very mixed results by most Godzilla fans, most audiences, and most critics about the human elements. And there was too much action. Well, riddle me this, audiences and critics. You complained with Godzilla 2014 that there wasn't enough of Godzilla. This movie tries to fix that problem, and you're still not satisfied. Are you going to do the same thing with Godzilla vs. Kong comes out in November of next year? Anyways, this movie did not bomb. It just got a lot of unfair hate. But I personally love Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I'll tell you why when I get to my best of 2019. Number 14. Stephen King's Pet Sematary 2019, the remake. I like this way more than the 89 version. This one, the 89 version is good for times, but this one I liked more because it was more creepier, more scarier. It was very slow paced, but the reason why this is on the underrated is because either people just have on their nostalgia glasses for a 1989, want to not to appreciate something different, or they just didn't want to see one of their favorite Stephen King movies be remade. But I like the original Pet Sematary, but it's not perfect. This one, not perfect either, but it had a lot more good than bad in it. But I did not like that ending, though. The alternate ending I thought was much better. Unicorn Store. This was directed by Brie Larson in her directorial debut, and this was a good one. A lot of people just didn't want to see this one because of the whole thing with Captain Marvel, but as a fan of the MCU and Brie Larson, and as Brie Larson herself, she has admitted that she does not care about the toxic fandom around her movie. And neither do I. Because Unicorn Store was a movie that a lot of people should have gave a chance and ignored that stupid controversy, because that controversy was a bunch of bull. Shazam. No, this is not a remake of Shazam with Shaquille O'Neal. No. Shazam is the 7th movie in the DC Cinematic Universe based on the Captain Marvel character. of the same name. 2 movies with Captain Marvel in the same year. And know that was easily the lowest grossing DCEU film besides Justice League, and this was a very heartfelt, fun superhero movie. It's basically Big, but what if Big was a superhero movie? Zachary Levi and the little kid who played Billy Batson and Shazam was great. Mark Strong is the villain. He was good, but you needed more development with the villain. And it did get dark for a Shazam movie, so it wasn't afraid to pull any punches. But this is another movie that should have made more. Cold Pursuits, starring Liam Neeson. This is a fun action film with Liam Neeson. It got good reviews from critics and audiences, but not many people went to go see because of Liam Neeson's controversy, which was unjustified as well. So you clearly just complain about that for nothing. The Cold Pursuit was really good. It was a really good film. I really enjoyed myself with it. Now we're into the top 10s. Happy Death Day to You, or Happy Death Day 2. I liked the first Happy Death Day. The second one, the first one is still the best, but Happy Death Day to You was trying to do something different. It basically went into Back to the Future vibes, where she has to keep dying over and over to save her friends. Especially the one part where she jumps out of the plane. That was hilarious. It's a shame that this didn't do well because they were going to do a third movie, but now they're not. So, because this movie's box office failure, or Happy Death Day 3 will never see the light of day. And that's sad. You should have went out to go see it more audiences, then we would have gotten Happy Death Day 3. Number 9. The Kid Who Would Be King. This was a different take on the King Arthur story with a child. The son of Andy Serkis, Louis Ashbourne Serkis, Patrick Stewart, Rebecca Ferguson as Morgana, which I didn't mind her as the villain, but she needed more to her. This movie turned out to be a pretty good surprise, but didn't make no money. And that's pretty sad. Especially for a King Arthur movie with Rebecca Ferguson and Patrick Stewart. That's sad. It really hurts. But anyways, I enjoyed the Kid Who Would Be King. Number 8. The Lego Movie 2, the second part. Or the sequel to the Lego Movie. A lot of people were really anticipating this, and for some reason, a lot of people were just let down by it. Lego Movie 2, it lived up to my expectations. I don't know why everybody overlooked this movie as much as they did. Maybe it's because they didn't care after the first Lego movie, or they just gave up. And then, but yeah, all you people 6 years later want to go spend $1 billion on Frozen 2. Even though I don't hate that movie, but I'm just saying. Lego Movie 2, unfortunately, we're not going to get a third one because of some contract with Illumination or something. I don't know. But it doesn't change the fact that the Lego Movie 2 was still a good film. Number 7, Captain Marvel. I've suffered enough hatred for liking this movie. I don't want to suffer any more hatred. But Captain Marvel, audiences really love this movie, but most audiences and most critics just did not like this movie. For whatever reason, whether it was Brie Larson's comments or because of the fact that they thought it was pulling the feminism card, it didn't really pull the feminism card. The whole women are us thing is not shown throughout this entire movie. And yes, they don't give much explanation to Carol. That's okay. That's why we're getting sequels to Captain Marvel. And as someone who loved Captain Marvel, I'm all for seeing more of Carol Danvers, aka Brie Larson, because she's a badass. Wonder Woman is the better female-led movie, but at least Captain Marvel was better than Black Christmas 2019 or Woke Angels 2019. I defy anybody who defends Chargers in 2019, because that movie was atrocious. A Vigilante. This came out in 2018 at film festivals, but it didn't get a release until March of 2019, and I was anticipating this movie for a long time. Not many people really talked about this movie. It is a hard watch for sure, but it is a great film. Great directorial debut of Sarah Dagger Nixon, Olivia Wilde as the main lead, and she also produced this movie, so she knew what she was up to. And her character basically going around helping people escape their domestic abusers. I get you. I can see why this is a tough watch, but for me, The Vigilante was great. You need to pick this up on DVD or Blu-ray or something. Tolkien, not the best, not better than Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but as the biographical film about J.R.R. Tolkien, it should have at least made at least close to $37 million. The cast was great. I did have my problems with the story but it didn't change the fact that Tolkien was a decent enough biopic. It was decent. It didn't trash the legacy of J.R.R. Tolkien as much people thought it would. The top four: Alita, Battle Angel. Now this movie broke even at $404 million, but I guess this is what happens when we make a movie about an anime character named Alita and nobody cares. That is good. A lot of people just still feel the same way that anime adaptations are unfilmable. But Alita Battle Angel lived up to my expectations. I really liked Rosa Salazar as the lead. I do hope we get a sequel to this, because I do want to see more and where else they go. Shaft 2019, directed by Tim Story, with Samuel L. Jackson, Richard Roundtree, and Jesse Usher. This is a movie that also tanked, and a lot of critics hated it, but besides Quez's movie reviews, aka Jaquez, I liked Shaft 2019. This is the second Shaft movie I've seen besides the 2000s film, but Shaft was a good time. It wasn't the worst thing ever. Now I just have to watch the original Shaft trilogy, and then I'll be caught up. The Unicorn, which is number 2. This was a fun comedy with Lauren Lapkus and Lucy Hale and a lot of other great talents. Directed by Robert Schwartzman, written by Robert Schwartzman, definitely deserved a lot more than what it got. This was a really good film, and this movie definitely deserved more. It deserved more at the box office, and a lot more people should have went to see it. So The Unicorn, this is an absolutely great film. Glass is my number one most underrated and overlooked film. This movie is great. I don't get the critics hating this movie. I don't get most audiences hating this movie. I get it. You don't like seeing your main characters die, but there was no other way of doing what Shyamalan wanted to do, and I applauded him for being ballsy. I applauded him for not giving us wall-to-wall action like a lot of people want to see. But Glass was a great film. I loved the twists and turns. The second half I appreciate more for being a character study, and you actually, they don't have to, it's to have too much explanation thrown in your face every 5 minutes. But Glass, this was a great film. Can't wait to talk about this in my best of. So, that was my most underrated and most overlooked. Let me know what you guys think of this list down below. What are some of your underrated and overlooked films? You guys keep it cool, enjoying the Epictasticness.